something very interesting is happening with personalized AI. And in this video, I'm going to look at two specific examples for English learning. One is Google Gemini's personal intelligence. The other is Claude Cowork. And they're both doing something similar. They're working in folders. That might not sound like a big deal, but I think it is, especially as they start getting better at doing tasks by themselves without intervention. If you can give them access to a folder, for Google Gemini, it would be in your Google Drive. For Claude Cowork, it's actually a folder on your computer, which is kind of crazy. But the question is, which one is better at it? Can they both succeed at a complex English learning task? Before we get into it, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Check out the 90-day program in the links in the description. And check out the sponsor for this video, Skillshare. This is a paid advertisement. I've been taking a class on Skillshare called Productivity Masterclass by Ali Abdaal. You've probably seen him around. He's kind of the productivity guy. Very good at it.
There are so many things we could be doing to improve the video. We could add all sorts of fancy features and stuff, but really, like 80% of the value of the video comes from 20% of the effort. It's probably just a few key.
Maybe I should be focusing more on getting enough sleep, not staying up late, maybe thinking deeply about what really matters over the long term rather than trying to make something perfect. That's giving me a lot of food for thought.
One of the things that you do as part of a class is a project. So I'm actually going to do my project for this lesson right now. So I'll create a title here. I need to 80-20 big time, which is true. Sometimes I don't. Those are the lessons about. And here's my project. I have a spelling issue here. Oops. Okay, that looks pretty good. The thing that he asks for the project is to really reflect. It's not just, hey, do you remember this? It's much deeper than that. Skillshare has creative classes taught by world-class creators like professional illustrators, renowned graphic designers, and successful entrepreneurs. It's a great place to learn a creative skill or pick up a new hobby. And if you're looking to reconnect with your creativity, Skillshare is where humans come to learn from other humans. The first 500 people to use my link in the description or scan the QR code will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. The link is at the top of the description. Go check it out. Now, back to the video. All right, so let's start in Google Gemini. And I know I'm using Pro, but I want to just see if it can be done. If it works, if it can find files from my drive, analyze those files, and create new files in my drive, then that's pretty amazing. And if you're on other Gemini plans, try it out for yourself and let me know how it works. Right now I'm on Gemini Pro. Sometimes I pay for it, sometimes I stop. I have a transcript from a podcast in my drive. I need you to analyze it and create, and then I have some things I want it to create. If this works, the basic idea is whatever you're learning, a TV show, a movie, listening to a podcast, instead of only listening to it, watching it, taking your own notes, go a step further. Try to squeeze as much juice from that fruit as possible. Yes, it's very good to listen carefully, to watch carefully, to take notes. That's great when you're trying to learn from a TV show or a podcast. But you might miss things like idioms, like specific vocabulary words, like cultural references. So let's see how much further we can go. Now here I have a numbers file. This is what I want to do if it's for Claude, right? Because Claude is going to be doing it locally on my computer. For Google, I think I have to do a Google Sheet. Then I want to extract key vocabulary from the podcast transcript, grade each word or phrase as beginner, intermediate, advanced, organize everything by difficulty level with clear headings. Now that could work either as a PDF or as an Excel or as a Google Sheet, right? But I think it works pretty well as a Google Sheet, as a spreadsheet. Idioms and expressions PDF, extract every idiom, phrasal verb, fixed expression, and natural spoken chunk from the transcript. This is, by the way, just a TXT file. It is uploaded to Google Drive. It is in my Google Drive. I have not said the name. Do I need to say the name? I wonder if it could find it. Maybe I should say it. I have a transcript from a podcast in my drive. It is podcast 34. Yeah, so that should be enough information. And then I want to get cultural notes, cultural references, social norms, unspoken assumptions, jokes, sarcasm. That stuff is easy to miss, right? So catching that would be really useful. Collocations and chunks. So these are combinations of words that are common, not exactly expressions or idioms, but just common groupings of words that you typically see. And then discussion prompts. Maybe I'm practicing my spoken English using what I heard, what I learned from the podcast, the TV show, the movie, whatever, and I want to speak for 5 minutes, summarizing what I remember. Well, that's very good. But sometimes it's also interesting to answer specific questions, right? So getting a list of interesting questions can be very useful for speaking practice too. Design notes for the PDFs, make them clean and professional. Use a consistent visual style across all 6. All right, so let's send that off and see. First, I'm curious if it can find the file. Let's see if it's finding the file. Locating, defining, refining. Oh, it's connecting to my personal drive. And did it find it? Yes, it found it. Looks like it found it. All right, so let's now go over to Claude Cowork and do the same thing. Here is Claude Cowork. This is not the website. This is the Claude desktop app. And you can't see it up here, but it says chats, 3 toggles, Cowork, code. And I'm on Cowork. And the thing that's different about this is that you give it access to a local folder. This is the local folder. It's called Learning. And in the local folder is a TXT file with the transcript for the podcast. And I want to see if it can upload new files, create new files, and upload them separately into the folder. And if it can, that would be so cool. So same exact thing. Anything I need to change here? I don't think so. I think that's actually better as is. Do I need Opus 4.6? That's the most cutting edge one. I guess to give it a fair, yeah, okay, let's just do it. I know it's going to use all my credits, but let's just see if it works. Let's see if it works. Okay, let's go. Opus uses your limit faster. Yes, I know. Okay, found podcast document. Great, it found it. Fantastic. So let's let it do its thing. Okay, so it looks like Gemini is able to read, right now, read only, and not write, which to me just doesn't make sense. Why would I want to just, I mean, I guess it can be useful for calendar stuff, but it's, I don't know, it just seems very limited. I want to read and write. That's what makes it useful. If personal intelligence doesn't just know things, but can also create new things, and what's the big deal? It's all happening in Google, right? It has permission. It's in my account. Well, then I feel like it's suddenly very powerful. I'm not sure how useful it is if it's just, just this. And I'm not saying the content is bad. Some words, goal, habit, these are pretty basic. Trouble, sale, objective, diligent, comprehension, isolation, nuance, meander, leisure, enthusiastically. Honestly, kind of limited. I would want way more for something like this. Surely I said far more words, useful words than this in a podcast that's an hour and a half long. Okay, and then PDF, idioms and expressions, literal meaning of right off the top, easier said than done, good, uphill battle. Okay, I mean, that's fine. That's all fine. Yeah, right, stick with something. There's nothing I think wrong with the content here. Transcript line, I'll stick with my jerky to continue doing, using, or doing something. Doing, using? A little bit weird. Hit and miss, inconsistent, sometimes good and sometimes bad. It's hit and miss depending on the word and search result is the actual sentence. It's useful to have the context. PDF culture notes. This is from a clip from The Office that I think we watched in the episode, if I'm not mistaken. And then collocations and chunks. Correct collocation, launch and course, muscle memory, uphill battle, practical jokes, pay attention, build habits. Okay, none of this looks particularly bad. The host admits he likes to gripe, complain about things like bad messaging. Is complaining a good way to bond with people, or does it create a negative atmosphere? I think there's nothing wrong with that as a prompt. It's just, okay, I mean, fine, but if I had just uploaded a text file or a PDF to Google Gemini and said, do this analysis and create this long list, how would that be different from this right here? It finding a file in my drive and then doing an analysis of the file that it found. Maybe not different at all, just a different way of finding the file, saving one step. So this only gets useful when Google Gemini allows you to create files in your drive. And as far as I can tell, that is not possible right now, but it should be. All right, heading back over to Claude, start by reading the transcript and relevant skills, then work through the files. Let me build all 6 files. I'll start with the Excel vocabulary file, then create all 5 PDFs. Oh, it's still working. 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Ooh. I mean, Gemini was done in less than a minute. I don't know exactly how fast, but it was pretty quick. So this is now 3 minutes in, and it's still working. The Excel file is done. To see if there was an Excel file in there, and there is. There is. I'm going to open it up with numbers because I don't have Excel. And here it is. This is way more comprehensive than the one Google did. It's clearly separated into beginner, intermediate, advanced, meander, diphthong, schwa, shadowing, syllable, inconsistent, notation, imitate, subtle, diligent, comprehension, unlearn, accent, progress, repeat, practice, community. And it's got the meaning, the transcript line, and hit the like button and subscribe if you're watching. Okay, yep, that's good. I think that's probably is what I said. I say it all the time. Hey, by the way, if you haven't done so, hit the like button and subscribe. An example sentence, I subscribe to their newsletter to get weekly updates. Okay. So that's very impressive. And that, again, was just sitting there in the folder. And looky here. Here's the folder. And the files, it looks like the files are all there. Here's the TXT file. I added that one. And then here's the numbers file, the Excel file that I just opened. And here are the PDFs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Idioms and expressions right off the top of the show. Hit the like button. I don't know if that's an idiom. I guess it's common. Send it to your grandma. That's definitely not a common expression. I mean, this looks great. Easier said than done. Pet peeve. Okay. Gripe. I like to gripe. Could be a common expression. I guess it's more of a, okay, that's right on the edge. Don't give yourself a break. Yeah, right. Stick with. Parcel them up. At my leisure. Can you imagine? For old time's sake. Some of these are a bit of a stretch, but the formatting is really good. It's very thorough. It's very detailed. It has the meaning. It's got the original context from the transcript. It's got a usage note used in broadcasting and presentations to signal you are starting with something important before anything else. Yeah. Okay. Discussion prompts. Good enough versus perfect. The host tells learners not to give themselves a break by saying good enough. Do you think this is good advice in all situations, or are there times when good enough really is good enough? How do you decide when to push harder and when to accept your current level? That's great. That's great. And I like how these all look the same. So here are the cultural notes. Oh, YouTube calls to action. Hit the button and subscribe. It's really focusing on that. Okay, let's scroll down here. Michael hates Toby. Practical jokes in American office culture. This is interesting. Practical jokes. Jim made a practical joke on Michael in The Office. Jim Halpert is famous for playing elaborate practical jokes or pranks, usually on his coworker Dwight. Pranking coworkers is a real feature of some American office cultures, though usually on a much smaller scale than the show portrays. And then it has an unspoken piece here. The audience is expected to find pranks funny and harmless within the context of the show. Okay, there are quite a few here. Here's another specific to the show. Michael hates Toby, which is true. If you watch the show, you know Michael hates Toby. In The Office, Michael Scott has an irrational, intense hatred of Toby, the HR representative. This is a long-running joke in the series. HR departments in American workplaces are often seen as the department that enforces rules and limits fun. Yes, he does hate Toby. So that's really cool. Collocations and chunks. Very well formatted, very easy to read through. It seems like the content is solid, far more thorough than Gemini was able to do. And again, I didn't have to upload anything or download anything or move anything over. Claude Cowork created these files based on my prompt in the folder that I specified, and they just showed up. And now they're on my computer. and I can do whatever I want with them. And all I had to start with was a transcript and a prompt. And this is kind of crazy. There are the files if you want to open them directly in Acrobat. I can open this one directly in Numbers. That's pretty cool. The whole thing took, how long did it take? It doesn't say the time, but I think it took at least 5 minutes in total. At least it was working for 5 minutes. This, I think, is a pretty big game changer. I think Gemini maybe is being a bit cautious. There's no reason why they shouldn't be doing this exact thing in your Google Drive. If Gemini has access to all your personal files, your calendar, all that stuff, why not just give it access to create a Google Doc? I don't see what the big deal is, and it would make it far more useful. Seeing it do this in Claude is like seeing something new that I haven't seen before. I've been able to copy and paste and upload and download stuff for a long time. I haven't been able to just create a prompt, say, here's the folder, you know what to do, and then go away. This feels like something new. I mean, I wasn't even very specific with my prompt. I could have said exactly what I want and how I want it. There's a lot to play with here, but this seems like a big deal to me. It's a different kind of thing, and it's very exciting. I mean, the possibilities are kind of mind-blowing. How complex can it get? I've heard of people doing coding projects that take days, weeks, and Claude's just working away, making sure it's staying within guidelines, checking its work, making sure that all those files look the same, right? Same visual style, everything works. So it's very impressive, and I'm sure I've only scratched the surface of what's possible. Claude is getting really good. Maybe it's been good for a while, but I've just begun to notice how good Claude is getting. And even when you chat with Claude, it just seems really smart. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels really smart. Anyway, I think this is very exciting. Let me know what you think in the comments if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Make sure to check out the 90-day program in the links in the description, and I will see you in the next one.